All right, jumping into something pretty interesting today. Gun ownership.
Or more specifically, how it all connects with Vice President Kamala Harris, her own history and policies.
We've got some excerpts here from a recent 60 Minutes interview.
Okay.
And some past statements she's made on the topic that paint a pretty, let's just say, interesting picture.
Ready to unpack this?
Yeah, let's get into it.
So it turns out Kamala Harris owning a gun isn't really new information. She's mentioned it before, even on the campaign trail back in 2020.
Right.
But with Biden out of the picture and Harris now the likely Democratic nominee, it's making headlines again.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, the timing is definitely interesting, isn't it? You know, this isn't just about Harris anymore.
Right.
It's about the Democrats. It's about who they think can win back the White House.
Right.
Gun control is such a huge issue here, and her stance on it. Well, everyone's going to be looking at that a lot closer now.
For sure.
She can't just appeal to the progressive side of the party anymore.
Right.
She needs those moderate voters, a lot of whom, well, they're fine with gun ownership.
Exactly. And she even addressed it head on in the debate with Trump recently.
Oh, yeah.
Even directly refuted his claim that she'd confiscate everyone's guns.
Right.
Even brought up Minnesota's governor, Tim Walz, a fellow Democrat, owns a gun himself.
Interesting.
What do you think about that strategy?
Oh, it's calculated, no doubt about it. But it's also pretty clever, right?
Okay.
By aligning herself with another gun owner, especially someone like Walz, from a state that isn't exactly, known for being pro-gun,
Right.
it kind of complicates the narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It challenges that whole us versus them thing you always hear about with guns. It's like she's trying to walk this tightrope.
Right.
Keep those stricter gun control folks happy, but not scare away moderate voters who might be, well, unsure about big changes.
It definitely adds another layer to her stance on things like universal background checks.
And assault weapon bans, which, for those who don't know,
Right.
those are some of her big talking points on gun control.
They are.
Could you maybe break those down a bit?
Yeah, so universal background checks, that would basically mean every single time someone buys a firearm,
Okay.
there'd be a background check. No exceptions.
Okay.
So that'd close the loophole where people can buy guns privately, like at a gun show or even online,
Right.
without any background check at all.
Right.
It's about trying to keep guns out of the hands of, well, people who shouldn't have them.
Okay.
Then you've got the assault weapons ban, which honestly, it's a lot more complicated.
Okay.
And honestly, a lot of people misunderstand it.
Okay.
Basically, it's about restricting access to certain types of semi-automatic firearms. The ones with high-capacity magazines and features that make them easy to conceal.
Right.
The debate really comes down to whether these types of weapons, which, let's be honest, have been used in some horrific mass shootings,
Right.
should be harder to get a hold of.
It's a tough one for sure.
It really is.
And speaking of tough.
The article mentions this interview Harris did with Oprah,
Okay.
where she says, and I quote, "If someone breaks in my house, they're getting shot."
Oh, yeah.
Now, she left it off afterwards,
Oh,
but it's still, I don't know, a pretty powerful statement, don't you think?
it is. It really is.
Even if she didn't totally mean it,
Right.
it gets to the heart of why a lot of gun owners, why they feel so strongly about their right to own a gun.
It's about self-defense.
Exactly.
Protecting yourself,
Yeah.
your family, your home.
Exactly.
Whether this helps or hurts her chances, well, who knows?
Right.
Maybe some voters will like that she's not afraid to protect herself,
Yeah.
But others, it might rub them the wrong way. And you talk about guns and violence, it's just,
It's tricky.
it is.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Well, this deep dive certainly hasn't given us any easy answers, has it?
Not at all.
If anything, more questions.
That's usually how it goes.
That it is.
Do you think this whole thing will actually change anyone's mind about Harris?
That's hard to say.
Or about gun control in general? I mean,
It's such a divided issue, and people have such strong feelings about it on both sides.
yeah.
I don't know if this is the gotcha moment some people are making it out to be.
Right.
But it definitely adds another layer to this, well, already incredibly complex issue.
Right. It's definitely not as black and white as some folks would like it to be.
That's for sure.
Well said. I think that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
But it really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Is this just a political strategy from Harris, or is it something more?
And what does it tell us about how we view gun ownership in this country?
It's a conversation that's not going away anytime soon, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
And we'll see you next time.